Hi, everybody. This is Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 12 recap with your girl, the Fruitful Wife. What's going on, you guys? My name is Brittany, aka the Fruitful Wife, your marriage cheerleader. And on this channel, you get marriage inspiration, marriage motivation, and I also review TV shows about what? You guessed it, marriage. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I want to thank you guys for getting me to 3K subscribers. You love me and I love you too. There's none better than the Fruitful Family tree. Purr. Okay, so today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 12. And honey, let me tell you something. I never thought we would get to the day where Paige acting like she got some sense. I didn't think we was going to get to this day, but we are here and it is glorious in my sight to see that Paige has obviously done some self-reflection, and I hope that she really sticks to it. That is the prayer of the saints, that she will continue to take a cold, hard look within herself and realize that even in all of this drama that she has had a part to play, and that part is allowing it to continue further than it should have. Good for you, Paige. I love, and you guys clock it. Go back to my first review. I said Paige is in love with the idea of marriage and not with the actual commitment. And honey, she took the word straight out of my mouth. Honey, Paige, I'm glad you see it. And you know how I know? Because I was there. In my first marriage, that's exactly who I was. I was in love with the thought, and I wasn't really looking at the true reality of marriage. And I ended up, honey, getting myself into something that was the worstest mess. It was the worstest mess. But I thank God that He gave me a second chance. And yeah, I it really, lessons, they be hard to learn. Some lessons you just gotta pay for. And honey, I paid for that lesson. Cause it's something when you're like, oh, love can conquer all. If I just believe hard enough, He will change. If I just believe hard enough, He will be the man of God He was called to be. If I just believe. And the fact of the matter is that you can't change nobody. Change is an inner working that comes from the inside out. It cannot be parted outside in. You hear me? Change got to bubble up from the inside. And if you're thinking that you can change somebody, then you are wrong. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. A person can only change if they truly desire that change. They cannot, be okay with who they are and where they are at, and you change them. That's just not going to happen. So, in this episode, we saw Paige doing a lot of self reflection, and I'm really feeling it. Stay there, Paige. Stay there. On the other hand, we didn't see much of Chris. We didn't see much of him at all, except for when he met with his mother, to let her know and fill her into where He and Paige are as of that date. And it's interesting, even how the mom took it. Everybody was really. I have not seen one on-screen interview with Chris and another person where they were not disappointed in his choices. And his mom was even looking like, "Yep, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked that you did this and you wasted this woman's time." And he went to say she's not answering my phone calls or responding to my text messages. Let me tell you, Chris mom, you was getting on my nerves a little bit in the beginning when you were like, "Well, was it drinking when he laid down with you?" That to me got on my nerves. But ma'am, I was okay with you on this episode, honey. And when he said she's not responding to my calls and texts, and she said rightfully so. Come on, mama. Come on. And I'm in agreement. Rightfully so. So let's get into Eric and Virginia. My goodness, Eric and Virginia are the epitome of two wrongs don't make a right. They just both all loud and all wrong. Both of them equally. Both of them, all of them. And we see that Virginia's anxiety really bubbled over on this episode. And this is what happens when you spend so much time going along to get along. And I believe that Virginia was doing more of that than Eric was. And, when you first meet somebody, it's all representative, right? I love my bishop always says, you never know who you really have until 18 months later. After, all of the representatives have left the building and you really get to see who a real person is. And let me tell you, Virginia, has swept things under the rug. She's kept silent about certain things. Eric has, not spoken about certain things because, they have such a passionate chemistry and, they really just want to have fun. And, it's this really exciting, passion that they have for one another that they're just skating on by the real issues. But let me tell you something. When your faith, your family, and your finances are not in agreement, honey, you got a long, hard road ahead of you. And, Eric continues to treat Virginia like a little child. And I don't care if Virginia, wants to dance naked on the rooftop every night. She's still an adult and you still cannot demean and belittle, which I feel like that's happening underhanded. Like you ain't got to be all bold and blunt about it to belittle and demean somebody. But it's, and if Eric say, well, I've already experienced these things. Well, I've already, been through these things. And well, if you don't like it, then you can just, sir. And somebody commented, they were like, well, Eric just knows what he wants. First of all, Eric don't know what he wants, because if it was just that clean cut and dry for Eric, he would have left. That's first of all. Second of all, if he really just did know what he wanted, it was that clean and cut for him, he wouldn't have told her in 3 weeks before even their 1 month anniversary that he loved her. If you see that she is not who you need as a wife and you really know what you want, then you wouldn't have told that woman you loved her. And third of all, you wouldn't be still hopping in the sack with her. And that's just on period. You know what I'm saying? No, what he's doing, these tactics are manipulative and they are controlling. And I stand on that. You know, I know what I want, but I also don't talk to people like that. I know exactly what I need out of my marriage, but I bet you my husband don't get that kind of speech from me. And yes, that was a learned behavior that I had to develop over time, but still that doesn't make it any less that those actions are very manipulative and controlling, even if the intent to be controlling and manipulative is not there. It is still a manipulation and controlling tactic. But I feel like he knows what he's doing. I feel like it's an, you know, he talks about being so mature, but I'm like, where is it? Because every time something don't go your way, this is what you revert to. But see, maturity is about action, not about all of this. You do a lot of this, Eric. Well, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm out of here. I'm over it. I'm done. You can leave. No, maturity, if you really knew what you wanted, you'd be like, well, I thank you for your time, but I'm actually going to leave because I do know what I want and this is not it, right? So, just to see Virginia explosive, I'm so glad that she was able to talk to the girls about mental health. Because let me tell you something, I'm a huge advocate about sitting on somebody's couch. Please go sit on somebody's couch. Please go get the help that you need. And Virginia does not know how to clearly communicate her feelings and her thoughts um, without going into an emotional meltdown. And therapy will help you kind of navigate those emotions and to be able to communicate clearly without allowing your emotions to get the best of you. But you know, they got some really significant differences. And you know, opposites may attract, but opposites make a hard marriage. I'm just saying. So let's talk about Ryan and Clara and how Clara is still very sexually frustrated. And Ryan is not budging. Ryan even went to say that it seems like she just has one thing on her mind, but I'm really looking for a deeper connection because I want this to be it. And you know what I see is just a bunch of stubbornness. It's a power play, really. That's exactly what it is on right. It's a power play. It's a power play. You have the upper hand. You are guiding and steering this thing as you want it to. It's a power play because let me tell you something, if it was all about a deeper connection to you, then you wouldn't have even allowed her to do the things that she has done to you intimately already. Everything but that, it's a power play. Now, if you guys hadn't done anything, then I would be on board with you and I'd say, okay, and I understand that. But, sir, this is the most power of power plays I have ever seen. You want to steer this ship, you want to be in control. And you know, and that's his personality, right? He's very controlled, cool, you know, collective, but you know, he wants to be in charge. You know what I'm saying? And that is really frustrating, Clara. And you know, granted it only has been a month, but you know, if Ryan, you know, is, you know, looking at it from a faith standpoint, then he shouldn't be withholding from his wife. So basically, Ryan just doing what he want to do. He dabble in the Christianity when he want to. He dabble out of it when he don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So they brought in like a yoga instructor that helps couples like connect on a more intimate level, and it didn't help. It didn't help. Ryan really wasn't into it. You know, Claire was hoping to get, you know, the zhuzh flowing and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, It didn't work. And I don't see Ryan really budging on that. And I think that Clara can whine, pout, scream, and shout. But I don't think that this man is going to budge until he is ready. And, Clara, has to make a decision based on that. So let's go on to Brianna and Vincent. They have stepped in as this season's advice couple where they're constantly giving advice to other couples because their marriage seems to be going so well. I really don't agree with that. I'm really not here for you've been married for a month and now all of a sudden you're counseling and giving advice to other couples. I'm like, you know, you don't need it though. Y'all over here, not saying that they aren't enjoying their marriage because they really do seem to be into each other. They seem to be enjoying the marriage, but honey, you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm like, please don't start giving out no advice until you like 5 years in, boo boo. Because let me tell you something. 1 month is nothing. Nothing. Let's get some years under our belt before we start. But I know that the producers really kind of put them in that predicament per se. And it seems like it's more Brianna than it is Vincent. Vincent be like, oh, okay, cool. And Brianna be like, well, I think you guys just need to communicate because communication is key. And, just really bubbling out all of the, you know, cliche marriage advice that can be given. And she can only give that because she's only been in it for a month. So they went bike riding and it was super cute. Loved it. He let her win in their little bike race, and he agreed to clean the kitchen, and she agreed to do some push-ups or whatever. Super cute. They also went to the pumpkin patch with Jacob and Haley, and that was adorable. They're just so adorable. Yes. Yeah, but what was funny to me is, Vincent was playing with Brianna and called like alluded to her being a sugar mama, and she looked at him and he was like, I took you on a boat date. I want you to take me out on some dates. Take me to the zoo, take me to the do. And he just started listing off all these places he wanted her to take him. Honey, Brianna was looking at like in your dreams. Hilarious, hilarious, so funny. But yeah, low key, watch out, Brianna. Hopefully, he's really just joking, but you joke about stuff you mean, honey. I digress. I digress. Okay, so let's talk about Jacob and Haley, who just can't. Failure to launch, man. Failure to launch. Failure to launch. And they are just such different species. Such different species. But they committed on this episode to just really have some fun days, to do some fun things, and to just drop some of the seriousness, you know, that they've been experiencing and stuff like that. And they went go-kart, which the place I literally used to live next door to K1 Speed. And my children, Mike has taken them there quite a few times, and they did some racing. And Jacob looked a little upset that he lost to Haley, and Haley playfully rubbed it in and all that kind of stuff. And I thought it was interesting. I thought it was so interesting. So they did that. They went to the pumpkin patch with Brianna and Vincent, and they seemed to just be trying to take it light. And really, to me, it just looks like they just going along to get along until this next 4 weeks is over, so they can go on about their business. It really even looks like Jacob is getting along with Haley more because he truly has given up. But we'll see. Actions speak louder than words. We shall see, right? So is that it? Is that all the couples? Is that all the couples? I think so. I think we hit everybody. Yeah. So comment down below. Tell me what you think about this week's episode. It was a little slow. I just keep out. Why we got to do this in 2 hours? We can't fit this in an hour, yo. That would make my life so much easier. But still love Married at First Sight and enjoying season 12, episode 12. All right, guys. So if you made it to the end of this video, one, I want to say thank you. Second, if you have not hit that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? And if you are still here, comment down below. Pumpkin patch. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, be fruitful and multiply. Bye.